deceased relatives, their mom, their aunt that raised them, and did their portraits on them. And then the visiting part, they would come up to me after they showed their loved one what I did, and that made me feel good that I was doing something actually productive with my so-called life while serving a life sentence.
Mm.
So
now, how you say it's illegal in prison to tattoo? How did you learn the correct way to tattoo once you were out here and had your own shop? It must be very different, right?
In some respects, yeah, but you learn basic like hygiene practices. I'm very, very clean in there and out here. You try to perfect the craft. Back then, you could get tattoo magazines, so they explained some stuff, and then they started taking them, and you couldn't get anything that had a picture of a tattoo in it, stuff like that. So I like rotaries because that's basically what we had in there from your electric shavers, or not electric, but battery operated razors.
Mm-hmm.
The motor is similar to a rotary out here, so the techniques are basically the same. So it wasn't a huge technological jump.
Oh,
So doing pretty good.
That's terrific. And when people come into your shop, are they asking for tattoos that you have no problem doing for them, or you feel you're pretty knowledgeable about all of that?
Oh yes. I do every style. For whatever reason, the last couple months I've been doing a lot of underwater imagery, stuff like that. So, but I do Japanese. I do. We did some palm trees with the water rolling. We did the traditional roses on a 87-year-old Hindu lady. That was her first tattoo. And we did what? The adoption symbol. Oh, we did the adoptions, the universal symbol for adoption, on three brothers that were adopted of every race.
Oh,
they came in. So it varies.
Yeah.
So I'm not restricted in the sense that I can't do that. I mean, I'm going to do the best job I can. If I think I can't handle something, I might send them to some other shop that might be capable of doing that. But I want to do the best absolute job that I can for the client.
Sure. And then the word will go out, and I'm sure word of mouth will bring you many, many clients. Do you have to advertise? Do you advertise to get people? Yeah, you do.
Yeah, we do the what is it, the Facebook?
Oh, okay. Social media.
Google, the Instagram. What's the other thing you do?
Well, we're doing the Google ad,
the Google ad.
I guess Google's a big one, and we're meeting with some people through the county that help small businesses learn how to market and develop their business goals and everything. So
that's wonderful. That's great. Yeah, I bet you are. Especially since it was a dream that this is what you wanted to do, Dean, and you've managed to do it. And that's rare. I think so many people coming out of prison, especially having been there as long as you were, the adjustment to life out here is overwhelming, to say nothing about starting your own business. And I think just getting your feet down and figuring out where you are day to day is difficult enough, but you managed to open up your own business. When did you open the shop officially?
We've been open for, what was it, October 1st, I think. I got the establishment license through the city of Largo.
Mm-hmm.
They put some like repeated hurdles in front of us, but we finally met all the requirements that they wanted. But the official grand opening is January 11th. The Innocence Project is coming down.
Oh, great. That's exciting.
And, they're going to cater and all that. And also, I think it was October or so, Fox 13 News came and interviewed us.
Oh, that helps also, I think, to have the news cover your story. What a great story that is. So we have a few minutes left of this podcast, and then we're going to have you come back for the next one. What are your greatest challenges today in your life? What would you say they are?
Technology, and driving.
And technology, I know. What was the last one?
Driving.
Driving. Oh, all right. Do you have
I
a license?
For 30 years. I didn't drive as a kid. I had to actually get my learner's permit for 6 months and drive with an 18-year-old licensed driver. So that went over well with the, what would you call them, the driver's license lady?
The motor vehicle people. So do you have a license right now?
Yes, ma'am.
You do? Oh, great.
And I drive with my hands at 10 and 2.
10 and 2. Great. So the technology, you say how that is a great challenge. Specifically what? Cell phones, things like that?
The cell phone, and I call the phone the computer, because basically to me that's what it is. But
it is, yeah.
It's very frustrating in the sense that I want to know how to do it, and you can do the same thing repeatedly and then it'll do something different. I guess because of updates or something.
Oh, who knows, right?
So it's a little bit of frustration of. I came from boom boxes and Walkmans and cassette tapes to.
That's right.
You talk to the Siri lady or the Alexa, that's what her name is.
Yeah, tell her what you want, right?
Right.
Yeah, well, I think it is a learning curve, and the longer you are out, the more familiar you will be with all the technology out here, and it moves so quickly and changes so fast. But in time, I'm sure you will learn. Well, one of the things that we want to talk about in the next podcast and have Danny come in is the importance of support while you were in prison. So I want you to think about that, both of you, because I think we'll begin with family support on our next podcast. So please stay with us, our listeners, and Dean and Danny, you stay with us as well. I thank you, my listeners, for joining us today on Pursuing Justice. For the last several programs, we've been talking about Dean McKee's case, and we have enjoyed having the executive director of the Innocence Project of Florida on with us, and now, of course, Dean and Danny. So please, your thoughts and your comments, I would love to hear from my listeners at pursuing.justice5@gmail.com. And I want to thank you both for being here today, and stay with us. We will be talking to you more about the perspective of someone like Danny, who is outside of the prison system, and get her thoughts on what that was like. So thank you so much for your time today, and we will see you next time on Pursuing Justice.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.